So I've been playing the ever-living hell out of Arc Raiders lately, and it's phenomenal. I think at this point I have over 130 plus hours. Yes, I know I need to touch grass, but I haven't been this addicted since playing World of Warcraft. And I'm not going to lie to you, I'm hooked. However, I do think there is a genuine problem or problems with the game, and I do want to go over these concerns that I have for the longevity of the product. And I want you to understand real quick before I continue, this has nothing to do with the product being bad. This has nothing to do with the product dying. I'm just quoting out things that in my mind are a real concern for the community, and I hope that Embark Studios, as they have been addressing things already with like store pricing and stuff of that nature, comes to motion sooner than later. These minor problems can continue to escalate into bigger concerns in the long run. So let's start off right off the rip with problem number one: desync. This shit is no joke. I've been dealing with desync back in the day since Gears of War. And for any Gears heads who used to play Gears of War back in the day, in the early days of Gears, desync was a serious fucking issue. And people were making terms for long shot kills, like backpacking. If you were not familiar with backpacking, you would have your gun registered on the screen where if you were behind a person but your long shot rifle was in front of their head with the camera centered to the screen, based on the center camera angle with the synchronization of the bullet, it would register that you are shooting them in the face. That was a serious problem in Gears of War, and Gears actually had this through like its entire history of issues with desync until they started to improve on these desync issues as time went on, and people started to notice it less and less. However, it still existed, and desync has been around a long time for many of shooters that hurt the product. Tarkov had its issues with desync for very long as well. I'm sure the Tarkov community can comment on that more. My concern is desync is going to be such an issue where it might hurt the player retention of the game in the long run when more and more players keep showing clips of them getting killed in ways or getting downed in ways that shouldn't be happening at all. Whether you're taking cover from point A to point B and you are the person being on the opposite end of getting shot, let's say point B is the person receiving the shots, you are getting shot already before you reach the cover or before you reach the space you are intended to go, and the game is registering the shot hitting you at the spot you initially either A, rolled to, B, slid to, or maybe you just ran behind cover as the final option. At the end of the day, it's an issue that people are noticing. There's clips of big streamers talking about this as well. I've had this happen clearly to me in a clip where I clutched a 1v2 and I had to kill a dude running after me. And in this clip, you can see where I aim at him just at the right split second of downing him, when in reality, that shot probably shouldn't have happened. And it was a good shot, don't get me wrong. Like, you could see the idea that I had, but it should have never hit. To be honest with you, when you look at it real slow, the reticle and where he was on my screen reminds me of the same exact issue of what Gears of War went through, because I played that game so much back in the day, and I've seen these problems happen, especially if you're using a long shot or a Nasher or just all of the guns in general. All in all, I hope it gets addressed as soon as possible, maybe within the next couple weeks to the new event coming out in December. I'm really looking forward to that because I think it's going to solve a lot of problems that people are having with this product, and that is majorly the desync, which is a serious concern for Arc Raiders. Number two, and I'm just going to put this on here. People might not like me saying this, but I'm just going to say it. The Venator. Now, whether you like using the Venator a lot or you don't like using the Venator a lot, I can tell you right now, statistically, of just every game I have been in, especially players that are bringing full kits, majority of them are running the Venator as one of their weapons. I would say maybe 9 times out of 10, the most high-kitted players that you are bumping into are running the Venator. And that gun in itself is very strong. It's a reason why everybody is favoring this gun. Every time I see somebody on someone's stream talking about this, or even a clip, a person's using a Venator 4 to wipe out a team. And even the fancy clips that I'm seeing, people are using the Venator to wipe out teams. People are using shotguns too. I've seen the clips with the shotgun bug. But for the most part, at the end of the day, it's really just the Venator that's doing all this damage. Now, it's not to say that this gun deserves to be nerfed, but at the same time, I think the materials in order to make the weapon needs to go up by a large proportion. If you want to use a Venator 4, you need to also get punished for the amount of materials you are putting into that weapon, and also for the fact that you could lose this weapon, because it should be higher than the quality it is. I honestly think this gun needs to be in the category of what a Bobcat is, where it's an epic weapon, because a fully hooked up Bobcat with all attachments is nasty, but you could still lose to a Venator. A fully hooked up Renegade 4 is nasty, you still lose to a Venator. A fully hooked up Anvil, which an Anvil is a great shield breaker of a weapon, you're still losing to a Venator 4. The Venator is one of the best guns in the game for PvP, especially in close corner actions. Besides the El Toro 4, which I think is very slept on, or the Volcano is really good, I really feel that the Venator is disgusting. And honestly, majority of the people are using it, whether they want to nerf this weapon or not. I'm not telling Embark Studios to nerf it. I'm not telling you guys, if this is your favorite gun, that you shouldn't be using it. At the end of the day, I use the gun too. It's awesome. But if they nerfed it, I wouldn't mind. Or if they added more materials to the weapon in order to craft it, to make it feel like you are bringing a prestigious weapon into this raid. And it's up to you, on how you play, whether you win or lose, in order to maintain this weapon or keep it. It should be held to a higher standard, because the game right now is just Venator Haven. Especially if you go on Stella Montes, you bump into people with like actual kits, they're running the Venator. It's clear as day. In majority of my streams, every time I'm versing people, it's the same weapon. They're using it, I'm using it, everyone's using it. It makes sense. So something needs to be looked at with that specific weapon. Number 3, storage. I think Embark Studios did a great job with understanding how they wanted players to utilize their kits, and you're not supposed to always have everything. You have to go back in, gain a certain material, get back out. Maybe you have to avoid the arc or fight the arc. Just go for certain specific mats that you're looking for to create unique and engaging encounters, and I think that's a really good job and great design choice by what they want to do. But at the same time, depending on how much storage is going to be provided from the expedition, if players don't complete your expeditions, you are going to be stuck with 280 storage. Now, I know people are saying that's more than enough. I disagree. If you're playing the game and you're always going into raids and you're winning a lot, eventually there's going to come to a point where you do not have any more storage room. If you don't have any more storage room, even after crafting the things that you have to craft or getting rid of the things that you no longer need, you are going to continuously run into these spacing issues. And I know people are probably going to be in the comments right now saying, I haven't had one issue at all. Well, this is towards the players that are playing the game nonstop, including myself. So forgive me if I'm not addressing the casual player. I do apologize. I'm more talking about the individuals who are playing that are always maxed out at 280 stash. And when the expedition comes out, hopefully it's a really good portion of massive storage space that is more unlocked. But I do think they should take design decisions from especially games like Tarkov, where you have the crates where you can put luggages within another luggage, create more inventory space and actually have things to move around with. You rotate items, stuff of that nature. DayZ has done this as well. But I feel like it would be cool to have, for an example, how those arc probes are, an arc probe luggage or an arc courier luggage or something like that, where it's an epic item that you can then put items within this arc, display case, and then it could save more space within your stash. It's a very epic item. It weighs a lot, and you're going to have to commit to just mainly taking that out of the raid once you find one to save your storage space. I think that would be a great additional item to add to your product. Maybe Embark Studios is already thinking about this and they're ahead of the curve, but I think that is very important. And I think this helps the casual players too. Even if you don't plan on going to the next expedition with a wiped storage, you're going to have all your stuff there and you're still capped at 280. These ARC cases would help the casual players, is what I'm trying to say. So it's a perfect solution to the people that are going to be playing consistently and, going through prestige mode or the expedition mode and actually just wiping their whole inventory to get more storage space. And then it helps out the casual players that don't want to leave and they just want to keep their original stuff that they found and collect all the blueprints, be a massive collector. And it still gives them a new way to collect stuff within cases so they can organize their inventory better as well. It's a win-win solution in my personal opinion. If you guys disagree, that's totally fine. You could tell me better solutions, and that would be great to tell Embark Studios your ideas so we can maybe forward this to them, because I think that's very important for them to hear something like this out, and why I think this video is really mission critical for them to understand why these topics we're talking about is very important for the healthier future of ARC Raiders. I think we're on number 4 now, and I think number 4 is one of those things that I feel like is a little exploity in my opinion, and I saw a clip of Ninja and Courage talking about this.
Their plan is their friend who doesn't do an expedition go into a raid, drop them the blueprints, get out of the raid. They do their expedition, go into a raid after their expedition. Their friend drops them back their blueprint, and then they use it in there so that they immediately have the ability to, let's say, craft a Venator.
Yeah.
If they get that.
Yeah, that's, I mean, there's got to be a way.
So I think that I'm going to keep that in mind because that sounds very good.
No, that's a cringe strat though. That's totally, I don't, not cheating, but it's exploiting for sure. What they should do is
exploiting. I don't know, bro.
It's absolutely you're holding
exploiting. You're holding on to
where they were discussing with one another if people are not going to do the expedition, they were going to hand over their blueprints that they find, like a Venator blueprint or an Anvil blueprint, and give it to the people that are doing the expedition, and just basically have a right-away kit to start crafting to basically get an edge over everybody in the lobby. Now, I think this needs to be looked into and addressed relatively sooner than later. If they're already doing this, please know I don't know all the news off the rip. I haven't been reading anything about Arc Raiders updates. I'm just considering ideas in my head that probably already exist, but I'm talking about this now because I feel like it's just a good talk to have. But going forward, I really feel like that type of issue where people will be exploiting these blueprints, if you want to call it that word, for people to get an Anvil way quicker than others or a Venator way quicker than others, and we already know how strong the Venator is, this is kind of a problem in my opinion. And I do think it's going to give people the edge when there shouldn't be no edge. Everybody should be on an even playing field, especially when everybody's like, doing free loadouts and people are just grinding to get new kits and get other kits from other people or kill Arc, etc., find new blueprints, a bunch of stuff. I just think it's very important to make sure that playing field is always even so people can work their way up and then, work their way back down and then work their way up again. I think that builds a healthy community, especially really good engagement within combat on all these maps. And if we actually don't do anything about that, it's going to just create a problem where players are just going to be overpowered more than others, and then it's going to take other players more time to officially get those things because other players have blueprints handed from their buddies who didn't do the expedition. So I think it's an easy fix by possibly just implementing an update where players who didn't do an expedition can trade anything with you that are blueprint related. So just put in a block of like whatever you have to do with the code to just stop blueprint trading from a player who hasn't done their expedition to a player who has done their expedition, and put a mark on someone's account, whether that's some type of icon that they're officially a person from an expedition from a previous season and they can't trade with previous season individuals that have blueprints, or if anything, stop the trades at all, and then you could just continue with players that have completed their expedition. That'd be a great way to play with players and separate from other players. Totally stops the whole exploitation conversation that is going on within the community. I think that would be a really good way to move going forward. Maybe some people might not like that, but if you have a solution, once again, this is not meant to be a video saying Embark should do this, they have to do this. Please come up with ideas in the comments below because I think it's very important to forward this once again. Number 5, the spawns, especially on Stellamontis. Stellamontis is a great map. I love this map. Personally, one of my favorite maps. If I just want to have a fun night, not do jack shit, I did all my trials, I did everything with the queens and the matriarchs and everything that I wanted to do to get really juicy loot. I just want to go into Stellamontis and have a blast. Unfortunately, Stellamontis has a big issue, and there's a flaw there. Everyone is learning where people are spawning at. There are clips already on TikTok where people are waiting at certain time frames when a team can possibly spawn in at a certain spot in the map. For example, medical labs is a great idea to understand this. You can tell when a team's going to spawn in if you're a certain distance from somebody and the game is considered this team spawning in safely with nobody around, then it registers the other team to understand for those players that people are here. They know where they're spawning at now, at that exact time. A buddy of mine the other night, his name's Rixa, shout out to him, we played and he told me in medical labs, people spawn at certain minute thresholds, whether it's 17 minutes or 19 minutes, the last spawns are usually around 17, and a team winded up spawning in medical labs with us, and we had to fight them. This is something that I think is a little concerning. People are, like I said, are putting clips of them getting killed by them just joining into a game, getting kitted out, and then just getting raw dogged off the rip. I think we need to fix the spawn systems a little bit on that map in particular. I think everything else so far on the other maps are pretty solid. These issues can present itself no matter what. If people just know every single spawn point in the map and they're just waiting for you, that's something that probably you can inevitably never stop unless they put some type of spawn timer protection where if you're in a game, you can't get killed off the rip within the first 15 seconds of like getting in, or whether it's 30 seconds or a minute, as long as people are protected for the first couple seconds of getting into the damn game and playing, so everybody can have a fair shake, since we want everything on an even playing field for everyone. And obviously the only way it doesn't become an even playing field is if we don't address these things and players continue to, take advantage of the systems in place. So I think that system needs to be obviously tweaked. Something needs to happen there, because Stellamontes is a great map, but it's getting completely crazy with people just spawning in and then 5 seconds later getting into a fight, not even prepared mentally for the fight, and it's just mayhem off the rip. It's a fun time, don't get me wrong, but obviously we all know that this deserves some type of assistance. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below about Stellamontes and the spawn rates especially. Stellamontes, even though it is a great map, I think free loadouts need to have some type of cooldown timer. I think in Tarkov it's like, what, a 20 or 30 minute timer, I forget. And they have actual break periods where you have to bring in your own kits. But with the free loadouts, I think on that specific map, there needs to be like an actual legit cooldown timer, because people are going in there and they're just trying to get big kits. That's all they're trying to do. It's a Royal Rumble. It's just complete mayhem. Now, I love it, don't get me wrong, but when you're looting people and it's just free loadouts, it really sucks. It really does suck. And it's like, man, I'm trying to come in this map and fight other people that have big goop. I want to get the good goopa. I'm not trying to loot just a basic trooper. I'm trying to get the goopa. And I really just want to have a good time with that and actually get some really, fun moments and fun loot to extract with. I think that would be really cool. If they want to do something about it, cool. If they don't, no big deal. The other maps are way better without having to use free loadouts. You bring in actual kits and you can actually get into more engaging fights, in my personal opinion, because Stellamontes is crazy with all the free loadout people that are going in there. And I think the final one, number 7, and I know people are going to be upset about this because everyone's doing it. I'm doing it too. I'm not going to sit here and deny it. Every single door in the game can still be pushed through on a duo or a trio. This is something that everyone's doing to get high tier loot, easier than others. It needs to be stopped. I'm sorry, because key cards are becoming an inconvenience. I think key cards are something that you should get, and it's a very exclusive reward, and then when you use that key card, you should feel rewarded from going to that door. But since everybody is just bugging through the door anyways with 2 people, if you have 2 or 3 friends, it doesn't matter, you just need another person, you can just do duos, you can legit phase through every single door in the game. It's not been patched. I think it's going to be a very hard thing to patch, and everyone is still doing this on every single map. Whether it's nighttime or not, you are always guaranteed still really good loot through these doors, or at least something good that you can extract with, and it still gives an edge to these players that do this. I've done it many of times too. I'm not going to sit here and deny it and sit here like some holier than saint individual. I'm just telling you from a person that has done it, because I've seen a lot of people other do it too. I'm just calling it out. It needs to stop. It needs to straight up just, let's cut this out. Let's patch the doors. Maybe have it in the game where a player can't actually push you or jump on top of you. There's no physical interaction from a player on your team or other players off your team, and players can't actually physically move you. Have some type of update that changes that, because everybody is making key cards completely useless. They are completely just dead in the water. I think people are just getting rid of their key cards at this point. You don't need them. The glitch is super easy to do. I've done it on every single map. And the reason I've been doing it is because why the fuck not? If they're not going to patch it, why the fuck am I going to have key cards in my storage that's taking up more space? It just doesn't make sense. So I'm just going to do it until they stop doing it. And I know that sounds fucked up, but I'm telling you the truth. I'm being dead ass honest with you. The Goopa is waiting for me. I got to get the Goop one way or another, and I'm going for it. So please embark. Maybe on the next update, patch it. Do whatever you got to do. I don't know the truth on how to stop it. Whatever you guys do over there, you're probably way smarter than me, obviously. And if anyone has comments below, you guys can talk about this too, to stop this type of glitch from happening, because it is, in my opinion, not good for the game. So I'm just calling it out. It is what it is. I'm sorry if I'm ruining anybody's experience with that one, but hey, that's the raw truth about that one right there. But that's about it, amigos. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. At the end of the day, I love Arc Raiders. I think it's a phenomenal time. I'm hooked. Like, I'm not going to lie. I come home, I'm hooked, I want to play. I go to bed, I still see me entering the freaking capsule to get put into a map. I'm absolutely hooked to this product. It is got its claws within me, just like everybody else. Like, everyone is really enjoying this game, and I hope you guys are enjoying it too. I just think these concerns are something that I've been thinking about the past couple days as of playing the product and doing everything within the game. I'm completely max leveled. I've done the expedition. I've fought multiple queens and matriarchs at this point, and I am just having a blast continuously still playing the product. I am not bored at all. And I just think these little concerns, which can lead to massive ordeals in the future, need to be addressed sooner than later. And I hope you guys can understand that and resonate with that. And if you have any other concerns or, you know, maybe complaints or anything that we can forward to Embark, that would be awesome, because I would love to send that, you know, over to them and talk about that maybe on their Twitter DMs or whatever, so we could put this on like some type of forum post, whatever. I don't care. I just want to make sure that they see these things and it's continuously being discussed in the community. Anywho, much love, amigos. Keep on keeping on, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Brought to you by Wheat Chili Sweet Thins. If you want to send me 1,000 boxes, now let me know that Papotella loves you for sure, and I'll shove every single box up my ass for a couple subs. Much love to you.